Well, the Pentagon is pretty skeptical that Russia's supposed withdrawal near Kyiv will be exactly that, a withdrawal, as small numbers of Russian troops reposition to the north of Kyiv. Ukrainian forces are trying to decipher Putin's next move, which could include using those troops in an offensive elsewhere in Ukraine, possibly in the eastern Donbass region. So is this a real change in strategy or not? Maybe a recognition that Russian troops are losing badly? Former commander of U.S. forces in Korea and ABC News contributor General Robert Abrams joining me now. So, General, you know, they say history repeats itself, so let's take a look back for a moment. Russia, then the Soviet Union, invaded Finland in 1939 with 500,000 Red Army troops. The Finns held back the initial assault before a reorganization, focusing on artillery enabled to the Red Army to finally push through those exhausted Finnish troops. So it seems like Russian troops are now reorganizing in a similar pattern. What's your read on the strategy now, and do you think that assessment is fair?
Kara, good afternoon. Yeah, I think that is the latter is more likely. In military parlance, we would call this Russia's attempt to reconstitute their forces that attacked into Kyiv. And that reconstitution is about rearming, refitting, bringing in new vehicles, and most importantly, bringing in fresh replacements to reconstitute these Russian units to then put them back into the fight. And they may very well put them back into the fight, into their original objectives in Kyiv, or they could be used elsewhere. And it is classic to the Russians to use their artillery to maintain contact and pressure on the Ukrainians to give space and time so that they can go reconstitute their force. So this is a page out of their historical playbook, and we should continue to watch them very closely.
So during peace negotiations, Russian officials said the troop withdrawal was a measure of good faith. Good faith is not usually something we associate with the Russian military. So are you buying that?
We should, no. The short answer is no.
Bottom line, no, right.
We should judge Russia by their actions and not their words.
So Russia's military is also saying, as you know, that its main goal of this invasion is the liberation of eastern Ukraine. They keep saying that word, liberation. Originally, Putin had stated that his main objectives for the invasion were the denazification and also the demilitarization. So has Russia's end goal changed? And do you think because of the way this conflict is going, that is why the language is changing?
I think there's a strong likelihood that they are adjusting their narrative and limiting it now to the Donbass region because of their failures elsewhere. Putin was crystal clear 30 days ago with the objectives of this new invasion into Ukraine. And for them to now publicly state something else signals to everyone that they're taking an appetite suppressant now and what they can actually accomplish and still claim some sort of victory.
So a U.S. official tells ABC News that they now believe that President Vladimir Putin is actually being misinformed by his advisors on this war in Ukraine, that he really doesn't know what's going on, including the performance of the Russian military. Why do you think that is? Do you think that's true? And if so, how does that play into all of this?
Well, it's difficult to really judge and evaluate how much information is getting to Putin. There are plenty of indicators, however, that he is insulated, and he's been insulated throughout the entire COVID-19 pandemic. And so it's manifested itself now. He's started a war that he obviously now cannot win and achieve his original objectives. And I think it's probably very difficult for anyone to go in and tell Putin and give him ground truth and speak truth to power, because, you know, he is well known to be the smartest guy in the room. And I don't think there's anybody that has the intestinal fortitude and backbone to go in and stand up to him. So That's why this continues to be a very dangerous conflict that we're in, because he is so insulated.
So when you say insulated, what do you mean by that? I mean, eating popcorn, watching Netflix, holed up in his palace? I mean, kind of defined, what that means, because we don't see him like we see a Zelensky,
Sure. So I think, when we say insulated, he is receiving reports of what his subordinates think that he wants to hear. He's receiving reports of where they are having some successes, and I doubt seriously that he has a full understanding of how badly his forces have performed, the large number of casualties, and frankly, the professional incompetence of many of his subordinate commanders, as demonstrated on the battlefield. And again, so insulated means I'm only getting what I want to hear, and no one can bring me bad news. And that is very dangerous for a head of state.
So what do you think his next move could be then, if that indeed is the case?
Well, I think what we're going to see is we're going to see the Russian forces are going to continue to devastate Ukraine, devastate Ukrainian cities, continue to try to demolish more cities like they've done in Mariupol. They're going to attack innocent Ukrainian civilians. They're going to try to hold additional ground in the Donbass region. And I think at this point, this is all to help support his narrative during ongoing negotiations between Russia and Ukraine. But I don't see him backing off 1 inch. It may look a little different, but I don't see him backing off 1 inch, because he thinks, based on the misinformation he's received, they're doing well and winning.
All right, but backing off doesn't necessarily mean he's going to win, right?
Oh, I don't think there is the slightest chance that Russia will win.
Okay.
The Ukrainian armed forces have demonstrated their resilience in the face of numerical superiority and technological superiority. They're on the right side of history, and they are gaining confidence and regaining ground every single day. I don't think there's a chance that Russia can win.
There we go. General Abrams, thanks so much. Appreciate you.
Thanks, Kira.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.